All right, g'day everyone. Dico here in the early morning, 8 a.m. Continuing on with what we were doing last week. Yeah, for those who weren't there last week, I was doing some set dressing, some texturing, getting things up and running for rendering out this scene. Over here, and she should be wearing clothes. Let's just put her clothes back on, just for the sake of YouTube. But yeah, you can see here that we're animating up some scenes, and I had pretty much done the texturing and the lighting and stuff for the most part. There is some stuff. Hey, how you doing? Welcome to the stream. Yeah, had quite a few things going on there, but at the end, we still have to add a little bit at the end with this ring. Last thing I want to do is, well, first thing I want to do today is actually I'm going to bring back her clothes so you can see what it looks like with her uniform on and everything like that. So let's go to her character folder. And I think this is the correct one. I think it is. Looks like it. Yeah, it must be right. Yep. So I'm gonna go ahead and quickly just turn on her clothing for this one here. I think that should be the right one. What else was there? Tactical gear. There we go. You can see it all there in one piece now. There are some things turned off for some reason. Buckles and shit like that. But that's all right. You can see it all. It's all there. It's all there. So yeah. Last thing I'm going to do as well is just make sure that when I am using this model, that all the visibilities are turned off, because I don't want to have a massive performance hit when I have this stuff turned on. So I have this little plugin that lets you just turn off everything, which is really, really useful. So I'm just going to go ahead and just turn those off. Gotta start naming my shit a bit more often, it looks like. That's all right. Let's turn that all off, including these buckles. They're all good. There's a few subdivisions turned on there. The only thing I forgot to realize is that I think I turned off all the armatures as well, which is ridiculous. Again, if you want to shout out hello or anything like that, feel free to say hello. Sorry, I'm just looking at the multi-stream here. I don't know if I can see what you guys wrote. Well, I'm hoping not to sell out. I don't think I will. Yeah. How's it going? All right, cool. So yeah, making sure that everything is actually turned back on, except for the armature. I'll turn it back off. So I'm gonna make sure the armature is turned off or on and everything here. So armature. Unfortunately, you can't really automatically turn off the armature for everything, or turn individual things off all at once, which sucks. It's one thing I wish Blender would fix, or the people working on it would fix. No, it's more difficult, actually. More difficult. Oh, thank you for the super chat. Thank you very much. But yeah, I don't find it easier because it actually is more complicated, because I want to have the eyes slide around And the way I built it is there's kind of some pros and cons, and not a big fan. I do plan on redesigning somewhat the method of what I've done here in the next like, sort of iteration of this character. I think it'll definitely be a lot easier to work with, especially for emotional changes, doing stuff like that. Right now, it's pretty much a spline-driven rig for the entire face, which is good and bad. So I can get. Oh, thank you very much for the super chat again. Sorry, I'm getting a bit of a delay in the chat here. Any tips on how to find first jobs working with 3D? I mentioned this last week. I think, yeah, just doing freelancing and trying to find odd jobs here and there really does help because it builds out a portfolio and it helps to get your name out there. So finding work, whether it's big or small, to work on things really does help, I find. That's my experience so far. Yeah, I think I got everything working there. And thank you, Callie, again for the super chat. Didn't even worry about the topology. No, not really. There is some topology. There's still edge loops going around there for the rigging, so it does make it easier. Here and here, so it does still adhere to some basic edge loop stuff, but in terms of just like, because I really wanted to make it feel like it's flat, like a flat design with the face. So when you it almost tricks or fakes depth when I try to animate it, because I just couldn't get the kind of like, I don't know, it's hard to explain, that sort of like without having to rely on 2D rigs, that sort of 2D rig feel, you know, where you kind of don't have proper perspective, you kind of fake it. That's kind of what I wanted to achieve in 3D. It's difficult to do it too. Oh, thanks again. How did you tweak your shader to create her? Yeah. So I'll give you a quick little demo to make it work. The way it works is pretty simple. If you look at the breakdown of the geometry, the way this thing works. Let me just make a cube. Oh yeah, thank you. I'll make a little sphere just to show you what I mean. Actually, the monkey will help. Where's the monkey? There we are. Let's smooth that. Add a subdivision surface. All right, sweet. Just to give you a quick little demo, the way this works is tunify. Yeah, that's the plan. That's the point, to make it feel like vector art. The real challenge is making sure that your geometry is really smooth to begin with. So you need to make sure it's quite a simple, smooth geometry. Oh, thank you again. So the way it works here is it's all dependent on these different settings. So when it comes to opacity of things, the diffuse, that sort of thing, you can tweak it by let me just bring this forward. Hopefully it actually works. By changing the opacity of things. So if I turn off the opacity, for instance, turn down the opacity on the shadow, or increase it, sorry, you can see here that I can tweak it. And then by changing the softness, you can increase the softness or decrease the softness to get a softer, more toon-like shadow. So just by changing those opacity levels, you can increase or decrease the intensity of these things. Then changing the color, you can give it whatever color you want. So for whatever setting you wanted to have it in, right? Then with the the specular, sorry, the rim light color, you can change the color of the rim light to give it something more intense, and then you increase that rim light opacity or rim light influence to get it to the right sort of feel. It does take a bit of getting used to because you got to tweak the index of refraction, that sort of thing. And for some reason, it's running a little bit weird here. If I turn up the specular, you can see that we can turn up different things, turn up the roughness, turn it down. Even the AO has to be sort of tweaked accordingly. But if you go to, I think there's some other stuff we need to turn on as well. If I recall, let's see if I could turn that on. It's thinking. Appreciate the super chat as well. Thank you very much. Yeah, I just enabled it like last night, just to see how it would work. But yeah, what else would there be? So you got to play with different settings to get different effects, really, and it does get affected by light as well. So be aware of that. Overall, so you can see that the rim light there is working too. So let's put that to 1. So you can see the rim light's working, but if you bring up the let's just turn up the rim light here just for a second, just to show you how the rim light works. So the rim light is based on Fresnel, and you can change the color of that Fresnel to whatever you like. And if you play with the influence, you can change how strong it is, or how weak it is, or how you want it to be influenced by this scene, essentially. And the reason why we can bring that up, yeah, that's better. So the reason why it was playing out is because the lighting wasn't quite right. Let's bring that into the light. Let's turn that on as well, just to see where those lights are. Lights over here, sweet. You can see how the lighting will affect that rim light. So you can see it's affected quite strongly by the positioning of lighting as well. So you got to play with those different settings and just tweak them as you need them. And they are quite strongly influenced by different things. Yeah, I'm looking for it too. I'm looking for the ability to I'm looking forward to the ability of playing with these things as well in a more cohesive fashion. It's actually interesting because the rim light's being affected here a little bit differently to how I normally work it. Let's have a look and see what version she's rocking. She's rocking number 3. Okay. Maybe Simple Tune 3 is different. Yeah, I had different tunifiers as well, it seems, as well, for different models. So I have been tweaking it as well. I might upload a new version once I get Patreon mix working. I might upload a new version of this as well. I think. Oh wait, this is the proper version. Simple Tune Tunify. Sorry, I'm having to remember every single piece that I've put together. It's been a while. This must be the older one. Yeah, this is the older one. Rim light opacity, shadow color. Actually, I think this might be the proper one. Simple Tune. Yeah, I think this might be the proper one, actually. My bad. So you can see here that no texture sets at the moment. Yeah. You can see here that, yeah, this is the better one. Sorry. The rim light is much more obvious, I think, in this case. I think I had directional, though. Rim light influence. I can't remember now. I'll have to make a new version. I'll have to make a new a new example of that, but you can see here with this simple tune at least. Yeah, this is the older one. Definitely the older one. This is the new one. I have to tweak it. For some reason, it's not it behaving the way I want it to. It should be working properly, but for some reason the rim light isn't on top. I don't know. I'll have to fix it up a little bit more because it should be influenced in a different way. Yeah, for some reason it's not behaving the way I want it to. I have ArtStation, but it's old and I need to update it. What you see on YouTube is basically what you see what you see on in my what I work on basically. But yeah. Anyway, this is ready to go. So I'm going to go ahead and open up my other file. And let's see what we got. Let's jump into the run file. And now she should have clothing. So we can preview that a bit better. Will this model be available on Patreon? That's a good question. Nothing in terms of like my black curtain stuff will be available, I don't think. Like in terms of this stuff, because it still is what we would say, well, personal work. So this is the sort of stuff that like I want to keep because I want to keep making short films with them. The other reason is as well, obviously, if you've looked at the history of Overwatch, once those models got out there, certain kind of videos were produced without the consent of Blizzard. And I kind of don't want this to happen with my models. So yeah, there's that as well. So I just don't want that to happen. But at least not with my official models. Yeah. Fan art, I guess, is just inevitable if it's popular enough. Oh, thanks. The rain is all textures, just texture maps. So what I need to do here, you'll see this giant ring. This ring here is basically meant to be a entrance to a tunnel, and right now it's just a ring because that's all I had. The ring was all I had for sort of template for the set. So what I want to do, yeah, cultured people, exactly. But yeah, I do have plans to provide rigs. This is for Kelly. So yeah, appreciate the donation, by the way, or the super chat. I do plan on building out some custom rigs for a new series I'm going to bring out in the future. Hopefully soon, in the next couple of weeks, I'll be producing a animation workshop series. So that will have to require some rigs. And if you want a toon shade on that, yeah, I will. Let's make one. Let's make a video just to do toon shading. And I'll try and tweak that shader and show you how it's done. But basically, there are simpler ways to build out those toon shaders as well. So I think that's what we will do. I'll show you the simple method of doing a toon shader, and then we'll probably end up having to build out how to build out more complicated ones. There are some really good videos out there already on doing toon shader. I guess it just depends on how complex you need that toon shader to be for your project. There's also other complicated stuff to consider as well when it comes to toon shading that is really painful, like normal map, like normals, different kinds of normals, that sort of thing. Real pain in the ass to deal with. That makes it really complicated to work on projects like this. All right, cool. How long have I been doing this? The film or the my profession? So my professional side of things, I've been doing animation for about 7 years, 6 or 7 years at this point. Graduated in 2014, so 7 years. Yeah, I could. Yeah, we can. If you're keen on doing Daenerys, I'll show you how to do the character design stuff is already there. It's just a matter of being able to I guess render it, uh, render it in the way that you want. All right, cool. Let's just give that a bit of a subdivision, and I'm going to use this as a boolean just to cut out the hole in this scene. I don't need it to. Oh, do I need to have it travel through? I think I do. I'll have it travel through. Now, I don't normally model this way. I don't usually deal with just making booleans and then cutting out of geometry, but because I got such a simple scene here and I'm not really dealing with detail all that much, it doesn't really matter in this case. I'm not animating the wall or anything like that either, so that's cool too. Again, appreciate the super chat, Kelly. Yeah, so if you want to get that working, I'll see what we can do. How would you do her Dothraki braids? Oh man, there's a really good tutorial out there on doing braids. Depends on what kind of hair you want. If you want like low poly sort of style hair, just using splines. I'll just use splines for that, and then braid the spline. Another thing you can do is use the hair tool from there's a plugin called the hair tool that lets you build out those sort of braids easier. So I'll have to show you where you can get that from. So for this, I'm going to go and click on this button here. Go to Boolean. I'm going to Boolean out this hole, and then hide this cylinder. So I'm going to put that to a new collection. Call that Boolean, and then pause that. Hide it away rather. And I don't want that Boolean shape to render either, so I'm just going to make it non-renderable. I just want it for the entrance point. So there we go. We've got a hole here. Yeah, for sure. I get what you mean. I started when I was 26, 25. I'm 33 now, so yeah, I was I wouldn't say I was in the same boat, but I was in a similar boat. I didn't start doing this until I didn't start when I was 18 or went to uni at 18. I went to uni when I was like 21, 22 to do animation. Yeah, definitely possible, man. The mentor that I had for animation was actually said he was 30 when he started as an animator, and he ended up working on all kinds of shit like Avatar and what do you call it? A bunch of Sony films, stuff like that. So it's definitely possible, dude. For this cylinder, hello. Sorry, I'm gonna bring back the cylinder. So I'm doing some last minute modeling here. Let's just turn it on and then turn on the model here. And I'm going to go ahead and just click on this little point here, just to select it. That's all I need from that. I'm going to turn off the Boolean in the end here. There we go. Selection to cursor. There we go. That's better. That's all I needed. Ah, shit. The problem when you have so much geometry, it starts to slow down a little bit in Blender, which is a shame. Cool. All right, cool. So I'm going to delete that. Faces. Delete this one. Faces. And for this, thank you for the subscription, Nian Manfeet. So I'm going to solidify that. Bring that in. Do you have a Discord where we can share ideas? I don't have a Discord. I'll probably go with Patreon for that one. Yeah. The thing about faking 2D look, Kelly, which is a good question, is that you still have to adhere to proper edge flow for the most part, because when doing 2D and doing toon shading, you do need to have a degree of smoothness in the normals, and you can only get that with proper edge flow. I mean, you can get away with it somewhat, but you do still need to really adhere to it. I guess it's a weird one. Uh, the more stylized you go, the cleaner the geometry kind of has to be, as weird as it sounds. That's why if you look at my geometry for a lot of the characters, I try to make it as simple as possible. Yeah, I'm building it out. I just need some content to give it a reason. Oh, what's going on? Getting a lot of notifications here. I'm not sure which one's which. Thank you for the subscriptions on the Twitch side. Sorry, I missed the names. Thank you. Much appreciated. Nickel Korean, thank you very much. And sorry, my notifications are slowing down a bit delayed. But yeah, thank you. But yeah, I'm planning on building up that Patreon. Yeah. So I'm planning on trying to stay, that's for sure. Yeah, that's definitely going to be the case. Especially with I'm teaching less lately, so that means that I have more time to build out these sort of things, which is good. And I want to do it justice as well. So yeah, that's the thing. And I'm going to continue to be making these films. I'm going to try and continue making content. So yeah, it's definitely something I want to keep doing for the long term. If you're worried about that, at least. So here, what I want to do is add a subdivision surface to the this pipe here, and this is what I mean by smoothness. The only way you get that smoothness is, ironically, with toon shading, high poly, or just a lot of smooth normals. It's a weird one. So yeah, just moving that in and get that ring in there. I will add that toon shader to the mesh here. So going with the lamp material again. I might actually try Simple Toon for this one. Do I have it here? Simple Toon V3. Yeah, I'll give Simple Toon V3 a go. This is what I mean. Let's just grab that. Let's put it in there. See what I mean by there? Simple Toon is probably better for a lot of things, actually. Let's see. How do I got the 3D? I got that. Yeah, right, sweet. Let's just hook that into here. I'm gonna hook this into the normal map. That's what's causing the issue a little bit there as well. Oh, well, I appreciate it, Kelly, as well. Appreciate the super chats. You're too generous, honestly. Yeah, I'm trying to. That's one of my biggest inspirations. I never really watched the shows as a kid, but I love the style. I love the style of Bruce Timm and those sort of films and cartoons and shit. So definitely want to try and make that a thing, I guess you can say, with the look. So yeah, the specular color, we can bring down that specular opacity. So I can turn that down a little bit. Oof, it's running a bit slow. Actually, I might actually just change the color. That looks kind of cool. Shadow opacity. Let's go with the shadow color being a bit darker. And we're going to change the, let's see if we just zoom in. Let's see what the material is doing at the moment. All right, cool. Let's just change the projection on this to generated as well. There we go. Get that nice sort of feel going on there. And if I want to, I can actually change the specular rim light color and see how that is operating, if it's even showing up. Oh, it is showing up there. That's cool. Over there. So playing with the IOI, you can see here that we can get different levels of spec intensity, which is cool. And this is what I was meant to show you. So it is working. It's just was being a bit of a bitch with the monkey. I'm not sure why it was being so tricky. Change the spec there. Change the opacity on the rim light. Make it more intense. Change the rim light color to whatever I need it. And with the shadow, I'm sure that I had another version where I had directional stuff there as well. Yeah, a little bit of a glow, that's for sure. With the color here, I might just make it a bit more intensely blue. There we go. That looks a lot better. So the intensity is behaving a little bit differently in this this set of geometry. As always, I will be wrap this up at around 9 o'clock. So yeah, again, appreciate it when you rock up. Let's see what we can do here. There we go. That's looking pretty cool. What I need to do now is add another set of, I'm going to add a duplicate of this. I'm going to just scale that down somewhat. Oops, I'm going to scale it down in edit mode. Yeah, this is my Gumroad shader. Simple Tune is the one that I had uploaded. So I will do some tweaks on it. It should be working fine. I used it for the kid. So the little girl has the Simple Tune shader on her, and it worked pretty effectively. I'm not sure why it's behaving the way it is today. So maybe I just have to inspect it again and have a quick look. So yeah, I'm going to do that. Here with this shader here, I will rename this one. I'm going to make a new one. Call this one, I guess, Sewer Entrance. And give that a another color. So I want to give this another color. So a bit lighter. And I'm going to shorten that out. So I'm going to shorten out that that geometry. Ah, thank you. Yeah, that's the idea. I want contrast, a lot of contrasting elements. It's mostly on contrast and lighting than it is about texturing, because I'm too damn lazy to texture personally. And yeah, this is my shortcut for doing that. And you'll find that if I get around to actually building out my next episode, if you want to call it anything, it's going to be basically in line with just more stylized visuals in terms of how I want it to look. So I can't be fucked texturing. Yeah, sorry, yeah. So I'm surprised you bought it. It was free. But yeah, yeah, I'll do some more tweaks and I'll do a video on it. I'll do a more comprehensive video on it. So here we go. We've got a little hole there now. Now what I want to do is put a pin there, and I'm going to add some bars. So I'm just going to add a single cylinder. Thank you again through the donation, Kelly's, by the way. I really appreciate it. So going to put this down like so. No. The rain is purely aesthetic choice. The reason being, no, you'll find out. You'll find out why. It's a pretty simple reason why, honestly. Yeah. It's definitely in line with it's more to do with the story than it is anything else. It's all just part of that visual narrative, I guess you can say. So what I'm going to do here, I'm going to add an array. I'm going to offset that in the other direction. Boom, like so. And then just array that out. So if you remember from the previous scenes, she's being chased by a wolf, a giant dog, and now she is stuck. So you can imagine what the next scene might look like. That looks sick. Liking that. Are you the dude I got one of my shaders from? Maybe. I did provide one in one of my videos. So, yeah. But yeah, now we have a nice shot. I really think that's kind of cool. And if we get closer, you can see it has a bit of texture to it too, which is really sweet. Now with the shader itself, we can change the IOR, so the index of refraction, to just soften out those rim light features. And there we have it. We got a little bit of change. We can change the shadow opacity. That's what I'm looking for. Wonder why it was turned off. Changing the shadow opacity will give us that sort of feature. That looks cool. They're basically my two inspirations. Again, I haven't seen Samurai Jack, but I love Dexter's Lab and those sort of shows. So that's where my inspiration lies for the most part for a lot of this stuff. So yeah, we've got some. It's going to be a mini series, I guess you can say, like a series of shorts, around this character and stuff like that. That's the idea. It was originally going to be a short film, but given my time constraints and resources, it's become more of a short series, I guess you can say. And the idea going forward is, there's a sharpness in the specular. I might bring down the specular actually a little bit on that. That's better. Sick. The idea here is to make a series of shorts and just support myself through making films and stuff. I thought about who knows, Big Top Burger by Worthy Kids. No, I haven't. I haven't seen that. Yeah, not yet at least. But yeah, here we go. We got ourselves a pretty sick looking frame. I might do the same thing with the specular opacity as well. So bring that down, that specular opacity over here. And then maybe increase the rim light IOR on here. Oh, I kind of like that actually, the round circle being lit up in red. That looks pretty sick. Oh well, I appreciate the offer, Kelly. Yeah, but you don't have to pay me. It's just there if you wanted to show your appreciation. Really, honestly, the idea has always been that these things should be free. The idea for the Patreon and stuff like that is really just about playing with just being able to support the channel, really, if anything. I'm not sure why the road is being rough again. Let's just... Oh no, the road's fine. The road's fine. As for this lampshade, did I give it a different light? Yeah, I did. I'm going to put it back to lamp 01 or lamp 02. Duplicate that one. And I might just bring down that IOR a little bit. There we go. Collaboration, it depends. It depends on what I'm building. I do keep in touch with certain YouTube personalities in the Blender community. We collaborate, or at least we talk things through together. But in terms of actually actively building content together, we haven't done anything like that yet. Do you have a model, Kelly, on the with Daenerys in mind, or are you currently building one? I think I fucked around with this one a little bit too much. Not sure why the road was a road like that before. I don't know, but yeah, that looking pretty cool. Let's do a quick little render and see how this is looking from a rendered point of view. Then I'll do a quick demo. I'll do another quick demo on the Toon Shader. Make sure I'm not missing something, because I know I tweaked it further than that. I had directional stuff and all kinds of stuff. Oh, appreciate it. Appreciate it. Also, sorry, I just realized there's some extra subs on Twitch. Zoseta, thank you for the sub. My notifications are a bit delayed. That's all. Mac 0 Fun, thanks for the follow. AUM Hinge, thank you for the follow. Deleted. All those sort of things. Yeah, I think there was a few others that I may have missed as well. So appreciate it very much. But yeah, that's looking sick. I'm really liking that look at the moment. Ah, cool. All right. Well, let's. I'm happy with this. So, this Wednesday, I'll probably animate the next scene. So I'm going to animate the next scene next week, or next session. Sorry. So we can wrap this one up. Let's have a look at the Toon Shader in more detail, and I will tweak that over the next couple of days as well. These walls, but that's looking cool. Now I know I have in my settings here a more comprehensive Toon Shader. I probably I don't even know where I put it, honestly. Because the baby's rocking it. The baby's rocking the simple tune. I'm sure of it. Yeah, she is. Yeah, so you got my old, see my old one. There's my new one. I knew I had a more recent one as well. I'm using Eevee for the renderer. Fuck. I might have to gumroad my own fucking file. Give me a second. So I had directional stuff in it too. Whoops. Yeah, the reason I also want to move over to Patreon is that I don't really like Gumroad all that much as well. Oh yeah, she does. Yeah, for sure. They always will. They always have edge loops. You need to have it basically to be able to animate the face. So yeah, definitely in there. Let's see, post products. Let's go to my simple tune. Just want to see what version I had up there. Can I download it? Can't remember where I put it. Hello, thank you for joining, by the way. Don't save. Yeah, I'll have to come and I'll have to find the shader again because I can't find it on my computer. I'll have to definitely put that together. Let's have a look. I'll copy that. Let's see. And by the way, you guys can download this if you want to. It's free to download if you want to get it. So Simple Tune is this one here. All right. How would you tackle the dragon design? In a similar way to like designing an animal, really. Designing an animal, yeah, this one's the proper tune. I'm not sure why the other one is not working. So yeah, the Tune Shade is free. It's free on Gumroad at the moment. You can just pay $0, download it. But you'll see here that this is how it looks. We have yeah, I must have had an older version of the Simple Tune on a different file on my other files, but this is how it's meant to work. So the way it works, and I'll try and do this as quickly as possible before I run out of time. I'm going to copy this. Let's copy this monkey into a new file. Yep, Tune Shader is free. Just to make it clear, you can download it for free. Thank you for the subscription, Sakut Gaming. So let's turn it on. We've got our keyframe. Oops, sorry, our monkey here with the Tune Shade. Let's make a new monkey. I'm going to turn on the world and make it black, so it's not reacted by the light. So the light, the direction of the light also affects the lighting of the area here. And if I make a new monkey, let's make a new monkey. And let's start a new shader from scratch. Let's go make a new material. Let's subdivide this and smooth it out. And then we'll add a new material. So in 3 minutes, you can get a cool Tune Shade effect. So let's open up the shader editor. And we're going to replace this node with my Tune Shader group. And you'll see automatically the rim light works, the specular is working, all that sort of stuff. So just by changing the way the specular is operating, we can turn it up and down. We can change the roughness of the spec a little bit. We can change the color. So this is where you put your texture inputs. So I can give it any color I want. And you can see here that we have a few options in the rim light. So we can make the rim light a different color as well. So that's this color here. You can make it any color you like. You can change the specular color to whatever you like as well. Blue, green, etc. And you use the expansion of this button here to change how intense that rim light gets in terms of how it wraps around and gets reacted by the light. We can invert the rim light so you can have backlighting instead of having highlights. You can have backlighting without actually having to build any extra lights. Let's increase the subdivision there. We can change the shadow opacity. So if we increase the shadow opacity, we get some shadows here. Change the shadows like so. And then you can also change the way that the shadow is sharpened to give it a really strong sharpness in the shader. And that's basically how it works. And then you can choose how intense that shadow is or how weak it is by changing the expansion. So expansion is basically how it spreads, and the sharpness is how soft you want it to be. So sometimes you might want to have like a softer shadow, or sometimes you might want to have a softer specular, or you can have something that's really sharp. So if you want to have a super Tune Shadery look, you can get something like that, then change the expansion to have it less intense, and then you have your Tune Shader. And then you can change the rim light color to whatever you like here. So if you want to have like a blue rim light, you can change the expansion of the rim light over here. Change the rim light expansion. And the IOR is basically how thick that rim light becomes. So changing the index of refraction is basically how that works. And I can do a more proper demo of this next time as well. But that's basically how it works. Sorry, I had the older version on one of the other characters. Yeah, that's how you work it. Yeah, that's basically it. The specular roughness doesn't do too much, although you can input metallic, and it will give you a metallic feature set that still looks metallic, which is really cool. So that's just in case you have metals. So if you want to have like gold, you give it a gold color, and then you can sort of change it that way. Anyway, I got to wrap it up. It's 9 o'clock. I got to start my day. Metals, just crank up the metals. Just crank up the metals and play with that. That's basically it. And you can use texture maps for that as well. That's the sort of thing you can do here. Anyway, I hope that was useful. I plan on going through it in more detail for you guys because it seems like something that you guys would be keen on doing. So how about we go through some examples in the next stream as well. But yeah, that's basically how it works. Simpletune v3. I knew I had a copy. I knew it was more intense than the other one. Anyway, I'll let you guys go. Thank you for watching. Thanks for being part of this stream. I really appreciate it. And I appreciate all the super chats and all the subscriptions. It's been a great morning. So really, really appreciate your support. Anyway, I will let it go and I will chat to you guys soon. Hopefully